So with the Sony Showcase for 2023 being over, the virtual reality community is once again left with their wants and needs still not being met. This meme really sums up what we are all thinking about the showcase that I saw on Twitter, and I think it's freaking hilarious. So with that being said, today I'm going to break down the few trailers that we did see for the PlayStation VR2 and what I think we should have saw in the showcase in order for Sony to really sell those PlayStation headsets to its fans and people just getting into VR. So let's hop right into it. The first trailer that we got to see, of course, starts out with a bang with Resident Evil 4. The game looks absolutely beautiful, and just everything about it is definitely what we want to see in PlayStation VR 2. The thing is at the very end of the trailer, it basically still says that it's in development. So we're not sure if we're going to see this game this year, next year, 2 years from now. We really don't know. The thing we can definitely count on, though, is that Resident Evil Village was absolutely amazing on PlayStation VR 2 and felt like it was just supposed to be a VR game from the get-go. So now that we know they did an announcement trailer for Resident Evil 4, I'm super excited and know that it actually is going to be a full game. There was definitely a debate about it being a full game or just kind of an experience. But as for me being able to play this game, I've never played Resident Evil 4. Yes, I know it's a sin, especially to everybody that loves Resident Evil, but I get to experience Resident Evil 4 for the first time in VR, in high fidelity graphics, and I can't wait for it. This is definitely what we want to see out of almost all PlayStation VR 2 games, and it looks like there's going to be something cool to go along with the eye tracking, so I definitely cannot wait for that. Definitely super stoked on it. The next trailer up is from Vertigo Games, and a very big warning right off the get-go is at the very bottom. It says not actual gameplay. So we already know that what we're looking at is just a cinematic movie that they made to show as a trailer, which is very alarming right off the get-go. But as soon as we see that it's Fred here, we already pretty much know that it's going to be Arizona Sunshine 2. Now, the first one was absolutely fantastic. I had a lot of fun playing it. It was really cool to run around and, shoot zombies and stuff like that. One thing we do have going for us, though, is on the PlayStation VR 2, clearly, the graphics look absolutely amazing. So, we can kind of make a step up from, the graphics of the standalone Quest 2, and now we're going to be on the PlayStation VR 2 with something that looks along the likes graphically as Half-Life Alyx. So that's always a good thing, but what's really disturbing is we really just don't know what this game is going to be about. Is it going to be co-op? Is it going to be another single-player story? Hopefully the story continues from the first one. That would be the only way to really make a sequel about this. So hopefully we can get this game showing some real gameplay soon and know a little bit more about it. But until then, we're just kind of up in the air and know nothing about it. Then they started to show us Crossfire Sierra Squad, which has been on my radar for a little while now. Not a lot of people have heard about this game, or a lot of people that are new into VR even know what this game is, but it looks absolutely amazing. LoJack from the Game Thoughts even was just like, okay, that looks pretty cool. But at the same time, I feel like the game's probably going to be on rails. It is fantastic to know that the game is going to be co-op, but I just feel like from the first-person shooter on flat screen of Crossfire, there's going to be a lot left to be desired for this game, but only time will tell. If anything, it's going to be close to something like Pavlov that you can play in co-op, and most likely be like a terrorist hunt type thing like Rainbow Six Siege. And of course, Synapse. This game looks really cool, but I'm also a little afraid of how it's going to turn out. Dreams is supposed to be dropping some really good games here soon. One game that I'm really looking forward to from them is going to be Ghostbusters. Hopefully that does come out. But Synapse looks like it's going to be some type of sci-fi, like siphon filter type game. I'm not even quite sure, to be honest, but it looks so good, it's almost too good to be true. Really, I think the game is probably going to play something along the lines of like Blood and Truth, something of that type of nature. One thing that really worries me is I hope that the game isn't all going to be in black and white like you see here. I think this game has a lot of things going on with it, with all the colors, so I really think it might be in black and white for the most part, but it is colorful. It does show some cool things, but I am really hoping that the full frame of graphics are shown off with all colors and it doesn't stay in that black and white. So it's got me a little bit worried. Also, it kind of gives you the vibe of like a faster pace, like pistol whip almost. So I don't know. There's just something about this game that is starting to rub me wrong. I have high hopes for it, but at the same time, I really just don't know. It's something we have to wait and see a little bit more gameplay from. But it is coming out July 4th, which is soon, so we'll find out sooner than later. And of course, lastly, Beat Saber, and it's definitely least in my book, if you ask me. This is cool for all the people that really want to play Beat Saber and are all about that life. For me, I just don't understand how much you can play this game unless you're into like fitness and working out and rhythm and all that stuff. Super cool if you're into that, but for someone who really wants to play shooters and just different genres, I mean, how many more DLC packs can we possibly get into this game? You can already customize it how you want on PC, so, I mean, it is what it is. It's cool that it's Queen, that's awesome, but just definitely something I would not end a show with. So that pretty much does it for the Sony Showcase of 2023 for PlayStation VR 2. Definitely a little disappointing, but there is a few things that I think they should have shown to really get this freaking hyped for everybody that wants a PlayStation VR 2 or is thinking about buying one or is on the fence about VR period. I really think they should have showed Firewall Ultra, even if it was just a little bit more gameplay, even if it was not a date of release or anything like that. I really think they should have showed that. I think that would have showcased a whole lot going on there. They definitely probably should have showed Ghostbusters. A lot of people are into Ghostbusters, and I think they really could have sold some units as far as that goes if they showed some Ghostbuster gameplay, because that is one game I am super stoked for. I think they should have shown that instead of Synapse, but that's just my personal opinion. Some things that I wish were in the making, or even rumors of in the making, I think they should have showed, which would have made the show just a completely different ball game for the PlayStation VR 2. I would have loved to see a Farpoint 2. Farpoint, the first one, was absolutely amazing and was definitely a really good game to play and to introduce people into VR on the first PlayStation VR. Some games that are kind of rumored that I think would be totally badass in VR that they definitely should make, and if they don't make and don't showcase it, or should I say should have showcased if they were making it, would have been a Killzone VR. I know a ton of people who would most definitely go out and buy a PlayStation VR 2 right now if they announced some type of Killzone VR game. Even if it was on rails, it would be super cool to play. And of course, they need another console-selling game. And the only way to do that is to make some kind of God of War experience in VR. That is wishful thinking, but I'm telling you, if you drop that at next year's conference in VR, or you even announce that that was going to be a VR game in some way, shape, or form, that's it. That's a wrap. You're selling these things like freaking hotcakes. But that is just my 2 cents on the matter of the PlayStation 2023 showcase. And we will see what the future brings for us. As always, if you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you on the next episode. As always, thank you so much for watching.